Well, here with more on Prime Minister Netanyahu's bombshell revelations is Brigadier General Nitzan Nuriel, the former director of the Israeli Counterterrorism Bureau and an associate at the International I.C.T for Counterterrorism at I.D.C. Herzliya. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
All right, so one of the biggest criticisms that we're seeing against this revelation was that nothing new was actually revealed. Do you agree that there's still no smoking gun that Netanyahu has really presented to the world, or that there is anything new to present?
We are trying to speak about fact, and the facts are that we cannot prove that the Iranian did something since they signed the deal. So all the information we had yesterday and all the information we have is still from 2015 and backward.
Well, there are also, Mossad officials that are saying that this revealing of information was kind of at risk to Israeli agents, and it's endangered many. Is that fair?
Yes, it's fair enough to say that anytime we or people that works for us are walking behind the lines in Iran or other places that are under a risk, this is kind of the magic way we are taking or conduct operations, and this is part of the life.
Now, let's talk a little bit about how Iran has responded to this publicly and what we think is going to happen in the future. Is there going to be a bigger response, and that Israel is just crying wolf here?
I think that the Iranian has a biggest problem with us upon all those foreign sources that Israel keep attacking Iranian targets in Syria. So first they have to consider what to do with that before they start saying or asking, what do we do with the Israeli undercover operation that steal our archive? Right. The main problem they have is what to do with those Israeli attacks against Iranian targets in Syria.
Now, let's assume that Netanyahu does get what he wants, which is obviously for the Iran deal to be nixed and taken off the table completely. What next? What needs to happen to stop Iran from continuing its work?
Based on the past, only very strong international cooperation that press Iran back into the table can change something. The United States by itself cannot change the picture. If the European state, Russia and China will stay in that agreement, then the US decisions, it's almost meaningless. Interesting.
All right. Well, I guess I'd like to kind of hear your perspective in terms of what Israel needs to do right now. What is the next step for Israel? And obviously, kind of what is the near future that's going to happen here? Because we feel this risk. It feels so imminent. But is it truly imminent?
Generally speaking, we have three main things to do. First, to make sure that we have the capabilities to make sure that Iran will never get a nuclear weapons. This is number one. Number two is to take all the actions needed in order to make sure that the Iranian will not build up military capabilities in Syria.
Right.
And last but not least, to make sure that Hezbollah keep his behavior and do not challenge our systems.
All right. Well, I think that obviously everybody here is kind of at the edge of their seats in terms of what is going to happen next, and we're waiting to hear from U.S. President Donald Trump as well. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.